Hey guys, it's Rod Wilson again with another podcast here, the Raw Real Estate Podcast. Today I have my wife who's joining us. This will be fun. Holly Kauffman of HK Designs. Hey babe.
Hi.
So I wanted to bring Holly on because today I wanted to focus on color. I think a lot of guys make a lot of mistakes related to color, and to me the color is just so easy. As far as you have to do it, it's fairly cost effective to do, and even if it's a cosmetic flip, and becomes a much bigger deal on a new home if you're building ground up. But I just thought I'd pick Holly's brain for all of you to maybe get some insights and ideas. Just to give a little background, Holly has a design firm. We actually just moved to Reno in the last year, but prior to that was in the Bay Area, the South Bay. Focused on Silicon Valley, primarily in the Los Gatos, Saratoga area. And, she is basically of my 50 plus projects over the couple decades. She's done the design on all of them. And on top of that, she had her own design firm working with clients and kind of, I guess, maybe what an investor or developer doesn't get, what's that end buyer really want? And that's what I think, hopefully you could share with us today. So anyway, welcome, Holly.
Thank you.
So I guess the first thing is I'm curious what you think. I mean, we've all seen and been through tons of homes that have been either flipped or new builds. What do you think are some of the mistakes that investors make or developers make? What do you see that they just totally miss the mark?
For the most part, I would say they try to overdo it. So there's just too much pattern, too much color going on. If you're trying to sell or resell a house, I think this more simple, the better, as far as the design, the look, the colors, because people have a hard time imagining their stuff in a home when it's already just presented to them in one look.
Right. So do you have this is funny. Now you're making me think of a couple scenarios when we were flipping. Is when I get the paint bid, they'd always want to know how many colors, because the more colors, the more they charge you. So let's just focus on maybe a relatively, maybe a cosmetic fix and flip. I mean, do you just do one color, or would you recommend doing a couple to accent it? What do you think?
Typically, I think where people got, maybe 10, 15 years ago, it was sort of a thing to, have each room a different color. And so I'm sure painters are still reeling from that. But I think now I try to come up with one color that really, brings the whole house together, and then maybe adding a color to the master bedroom. Maybe an office if there's some kind of unique room that could benefit from adding a little warmth. But for the most part, I think a really neutral, honestly, white has been the new thing the past couple years, and I don't really see it going anywhere. A really nice shade of oyster white, offer linen white, and then sort of creating a little bit more warmth with a soft taupe or a soft tan in the bedroom, and then maybe a pop of color in an office, workout room, whatever, if there's a unique area like that.
And when you say pop color, that's just something that really contrasts the white or the tone,
Yeah, it could be like a darker, moodier color depending on the space, especially if it's an office. And it really could just feed off of the colors we used in a stone or wood tone, or, but it is still, I think, keeping along the lines of a neutral, more organic color, maybe a green palette, or, a darker beige, something that's kind of got that organic, earthy tone.
Have you noticed any trends that developers and investors should be aware of? It feels like we've got these millennial type generations that are coming out in big waves as far as purchasing power and whatnot. I'm curious if you've noticed that you've either seen or heard, or do you see kind of a trend going a different direction?
Honestly, the trend is white. And again, it's sort of bringing in texture through really pretty stone on a fireplace, or maybe some movement in the countertop material. But the walls are mostly white. The windows are kind of trending to having that black interior and the white walls wrapping into it. So yeah, I think that's kind of the biggest trend I've seen, just various shades of white.
It sounds super easy and simple, but it's definitely a clean look, and especially I guess it plays well with some of the modern designs we see. Um, so you help realtors, do color consulting for obviously clients and realtors. I'm kind of curious of that process. How do you typically engage that? Because it's you're basically just taking kind of when you do a development project, you're very invested. You're coordinating, I mean, appliances to furniture to finishes to whatever. When you're just doing a color consult for someone, a realtor, I guess it could be an investor that's going to flip a house, or a realtor that's going to list a house. How do you approach that? What's the kind of, I don't know, quick and easy way to come up with colors you think that'll appeal to the broader market?
I guess first it depends on the scope of the project. If they're just kind of doing a quick makeover, you really just need to feed off the bones of the house and the style, whether it's a ranch style or a modern, could be Victorian, just depending on whatever the house represents. You sort of want to try to carry a little bit of that theme in, so everything's sort of cohesive. But if they're basically going to take a house and then kind of change the facade and try to update it to a certain look, I'm either working with the real estate person that they're working with, or the contractor, as to what kind of look goes or sells in that area, what demographics, that maybe farmhouse is the look that's really going in that neighborhood. So then we try to pull in a little bit more farmhouse appeal. It just depends on each project.
Right. I thought that was going to be the answer. It just kind of
There's no
depends.
one size fits all.
Well, it's like amazing because I almost want to walk around with like a color palette for some builders, because man, they really miss it. And I think that you do all this work and then the colors just miss the mark.
Yeah, agreed.